Okay, so good afternoon, all of you. Okay.
Afternoon, Sifu.
So let me try to do some. Let me try to do a recapitulations. Okay. You can off the mic now. Okay, so that less disturbance. We are still in the trade vehicle in the section 1. It's the essential call to practicing the path of the trade vehicle. Now we are in the let's see how. Yes, we are in the section 2, part 1. It's the stage of practicing the trade vehicle, knowing the object clearly. So number first one, generally the Sravaka practitioner are the main audience. And second, the detailed explanation on the different aspect of this practitioner. And 3, concluding reminder that all are practicing the path aimed at the liberations. Okay. Then second, general explanation that the main focus of the trade vehicle is the study of the Four Noble Truth and law of independence originations. Okay. I make it bigger. I make the words bigger. Okay, can you see comfortably now?
Yeah, can.
The screen. Okay. All right. Second is the detailing the causes and results relating to the mandate and supramandate world according to the Four Noble Truths. Okay, let's take a look. So we will overview the Four Noble Truths and detail explain the Four Noble Truths. Right. Then after this, we go to the number 3. It's the 3 training. Wait, I think we haven't been here yet. Let's take a look. Okay, Okay, we are before the 6 elements. Okay, all right, in the previous lessons, what have we gone through is, I think about this, let me see first. We talk about the 5 aggregates. So let's take a look. The verses number 68 is the 5 aggregates. We understand what is the definition for the form, feeling, feeling, perceptions, volitions, and also the consciousness. Okay, we have a quite brief definition to all of this. Okay, then we go to the 6 sense organs, 6 consciousness. Remember that 6 sense organ, 6 sense organ and 6 consciousness are the category include more mentality more than the physical. All right. Here, so we discuss all about the 6 sense organs. Now from 6 sense organs, we go to the 6 elements. Okay, let me take a look. If I'm not mistaken, we are still in this. We are supposed to in this, right? Okay, the noble truth of the suffering. All right, 5 aggregate is about the suffering. Let me see. Yes, it's about the suffering. Okay, it's about the truth of the suffering. So after we understand all this, we will go to the noble truth of accumulation of the suffering. I think today our target area might be the noble truth of suffering. We try to finish it. Then we will go to the noble truth of accumulation of the suffering. And possible we can go through the cessation of the suffering and also the path to cessation of the suffering. Okay. So now we will go to the 6 elements. All right. Okay, Sally, please write it out, please.
The 6 elements, or by the union of the 6 elements, the suffering of the world derives from all this. Buddha also emphasized the classification of matter and spoke of the union of 6 elements, also called the 6 great elements. The 4 great elements enclose a space of consciousness inside. This is called a human being. The 6 elements, 6 categories or factors that form sentient beings are earth, water, fire, wind, space, and consciousness. The 4 great elements of earth, water, fire, and wind are classified as classifications of the characteristics of matter. These characteristics have different levels of meaning. but a simple explanation is that the solidity of bones and flesh is the earth element. The fluidity of blood, sweat, and the like is water element. Warmth and heat is the fire element, and the motility of breathing and movement is the wind element. These four are material elements, the foundation of all physiological functions. The space element refers to empty space. For the material body full of spaces among the internal organs, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and so forth, and the pores of the body. The consciousness element refers to the six consciousness that differentiate objects and become attached.
Okay, thank you. I will try to digest this paragraph first. Okay, let's take a look. Now we go to the six elements. Okay, the six great elements, meaning to say that sometimes we call them six great elements. All right. Here, six elements meaning to say that are earth, water, fire, wind, space, and consciousness. Okay. For the previous earth, water, fire, wind, and space, they are all considered matter. All right. So what is the water elements? It will be the fluidity of the blood, sweat. Okay. Class. Okay. If you go through, if you are going to join the meditation class, there's one part of the meditation method we call it four element. It's the meditation of a four element, which is very common in Myanmar, especially in Myanmar. Let's take a look. The theory which we are studying now are the major part. It forms the major part for the meditation method. Let's take a look. We call this a Visuddhi Magga, the path of the purification. Nibbana is the ultimate goal. And we begin with the four precepts. Take a look. Purification of the virtue. This is the precept. Okay. Once we finish the precept, we will go to this. It's a purification of mind. All right. So in purification of mind, we will be able to see one thing. We call it one analysis, which is the four elements. This is 1 out of 40 meditation method. And what do they do in the four elements? Actually, that is the knowledge of analyzing mind and matter, especially for the matter. Okay, they're analyzing the matter, right, in order to attain purification of view. Okay, what view? To purify the wrong view, the view of I. Okay. So what's the skills they try to do? They will try to understand the characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause of mental and material phenomena. Okay, well, this is one of the meditation they used to start, but Anapanasati, which is in the 10 collection, is equally popular and important here. Okay, so what did they do? If let's say, okay, if you go to the joint, if you go to Myanmar, they will try to let you try Anapanasati in the first place. If let's say you can hardly to do it, usually they will encourage you to change to the 4 elements, meaning to say that 4 elements, earth, water, fire, all this, you try to contemplate the characteristics behind it. For example, earth element, they call it a yin chu zhong, okay, hard, okay, chu, coarse, okay, heavy, soft, okay. How to notice it? For example, you try to use your hand, okay, to touch the floor. Can you try? You see, this is our hand, right? This is the floor. You try to touch. Can you feel it? Do you feel the feeling of a heart, right? Okay, so according to them, they will tell you that this feeling of heart is widely distributed throughout the whole body. You have to find out the feeling of a heart. Okay, so maybe you can try it now. For example, okay, now, okay, so please you try to touch your hand with the floor. Do you feel the feeling of heart with the floor? Not with the hand, with the floor. With the floor. Okay, yes. The floor, yes. Okay, you feel the heart, right? Or on the table, right? You feel the heart, right? All right. So now please close your eye. You try to find out the feeling of the hardness is throughout the whole body. You can try now. So you can just close your eye, try to get the feeling of heart from the forehead onwards. And you try to check in your face whether do you get it or not. Yes, Sally? Yes, do you get it? Not yet. How about Elena? Do you get it? No. Okay.
Means do you touch your head and say, oh, this is heart?
No. Just use the sensation to discover it.
Oh.
Yeah, you still use your sensation. You will notice that throughout the whole body, the sensation of the hardness, soft, okay, coarse, all this is, it's distributed widely throughout the whole body. If you manage to find one by one, meaning to say that you understand that this body actually is formed by all the 4 elements. Okay, and for example, one more element is we call it heat. Heat means what? Mean the warm and the cold. Okay, the warm and the cold. Are you in the aircon now? Are both of you in aircon? No. Okay, without aircon, do you feel hot now?
Yes.
Yes, you feel hot. Okay, okay, you try to maybe okay. Let me see how to check for it. Okay, okay, we try to find the sensation of soft. Are you sitting on the soft cushion or are you sitting on the hard surface?
No. The chair.
Surface,
Okay.
meditate.
Okay, this is the hard surface, right? You are sitting on a hard surface. Okay, now 3 of us can feel that there's a touching feeling between our posterior and the chair. Am I right? The feeling is there, right? Okay, the sensation is so clear, right? So this is we call it as the feeling of a touching, and the touching is more on the heart. All right, please try to get it. Get the feeling from your face. Okay, please close your eye. Try to find it. The sensation. Okay, then open your eye. Okay, you're not able to find it, right? Okay, actually maybe I'm not very good in guide you. For this, actually in the how to say earth elements, all right, it will include the characteristic of hard, coarse, okay, yin yin chu zhong, heavy, and also the light, okay, soft and light. Okay, so this is the element of the earth element. Okay, then this water element. Water element mean what? The cohesion, and also mean the sticky, the feeling of the cohesion and the fluidity. You have to. They will show you the example. For example, you see now we try to move our tongue. We get our mouth. You will see the feeling soft, right? Right. Okay. And then we will feel there's some saliva attached with our tongue. We will feel the flow of the liquid, right? So this is the way they try to pinpoint you that this is the characteristic of this type of different characteristic. Okay, once you know the characteristic, you have to try to discover it throughout the whole body. So that is the meaning. We call it 4 elements meditation. All right, there will be totally 36 elements of it. Okay, well, it has to be under the guidance. Why? For example, the heart element. Some people, they try to find out the heart element. Okay, they get it throughout the whole body. But once they get, but they over enhance the heart element, and they end up they cannot move up. The whole body is hard as the rock. It can happen like that, you know. I remember, I joined one retreat. I become the translator. It happened that the guy I cannot come out. He said, I'm in the hard elements, and I cannot move out already. So the meditation teacher must be able to guide him to go to check, to find out the soft element in order to counter react with the hard element and neutralize the effect. Then he will tend to become normal. So class, you can just please copy down this. Okay. Now let us go through all this first. So you see, according to here, now you see, now so many elements. Okay, we got earth, water, fire, wind, space, and consciousness. All right. So you see, okay, in order to get the earth elements, you see, that is the solidity of the bone and flesh. But basically, we don't go to look for the bone and the flesh. We go to look the characteristic of the earth. Characteristic of the earth. For example, you can copy down a little bit. Okay, for example, the characteristic of the earth. Characteristic. For the earth. Soft, heavy, light. Okay, there's the characteristics. We're trying to find it out. Wait lah. We got another 2 more students to join our meditation class. Let me make sure they'll be coming up. Okay, let's take a look. Then we go to this. We go to the fire elements. Okay, that is. Then we go to the earth. This is the earth elements. Then we go to the water elements. Water element is the blood and sweat. But by right, the characteristics will be the cohesion and the fluidity and the flow. That is the characteristic of the water. All right. Then we go to the fire elements. There will be warmth and heat. including the cold also at the same time. All right. Have you ever tried to experience that if let's say the weather is very hot, but you cannot open the aircon, you try to magnify the feeling of cold within your body, the skin of your body. Have you ever tried it before? Sally? You didn't try it before. Okay, Elena, have you ever tried it before? Okay, off your mind already. Okay, yes. I mean, you try to, once the weather is very hot and you cannot on the aircon, so you try to magnify the cold within your body. Have you ever tried that before?
Yes.
Yes, okay, I see. Meaning to say that actually the feeling of cold is always, it stays within our body. But if you don't pay attention to it, and it doesn't appear, all right. So meaning to say that you don't try to change the temperature outside, but you try to change. You just change your focus on it. So say that you can have a try. For those who can do very well in meditation, their power is very strong to shift from one focus to another focus. They can see many things which other unable to see. Okay, so you can try it out next time. Okay, then we'll go to what the breathing. The mortality of the breathing is the wind elements. Okay, how do we know the wind's element? For example, all right, are you sitting without support, right? Okay, you are sitting without support, right? I mean the vertebra, all right. So you take a look now. Okay, okay. So the feeling of without support in the vertebra is the elements, is the working of the earth element, of a wind element actually. Can you feel it? You try it, you see. Okay, now you pay attention to the vertebra, all right. Then you feel that, all right. You feel that there must be some energy to support your vertebra, right? Okay, if let's say you see, if I without the support, I will sit like that, you see? See? I will sit like that, right? You try to hunchback, okay, hunchback. You try. Okay, then you try to straight the back. There must be something energy to move first, straight the back. So they call it as the wind element. That's the wind element make your vertebra become straight. Well, in meditation, maybe you will spend hours just to get out, just to find out all these elements. It's in the meditation section, not now. Okay, let's continue. We'll go through is the all right. So this is the we call it 4 element. They are the physiological function. All right. One more is the space element. Usually, space element we don't go to contemplate it. And now the consciousness elements refers to the 6 consciousness. All right. And that differentiate object and become attached. All right. So this is another way we do the 4 elements. Okay. I think I don't know whether you remember or not. We have go through the chapter number 9. I mean the brief for the meditations. How to say the meditation for the Samatha and Vipassana step by step. Do you remember or not? I think just after the meditation class, we have go through this pagoda before. Do you remember? We talk about the purification of virtue, purification of the mind, purification of view. Yes, do you remember all this? Then 40 elements of 40 meditation methods, including the 4 illimitables, 10 recollections, 10 fullness, all this. Do you remember? You don't remember? Remember how? Sally, you on the mic for you. So that's we call it a 40 meditation method. All right. We have gone through this. We have gone through how you remember all right. Then we go to this. Okay. So next paragraph. All right. Elena, please.
The entity of body and mind constitutes sentient beings is usually described in trust. Aggregates that have been obtained, the elements that have been obtained, and the senses that have been obtained are all accumulated suffering. According to a popular saying, accompanying these three groups of things, there is life and also suffering. It is like the saying of Lao Tzu, I have great trouble because I have a body. But according to some non-Buddhist thinking, besides the body and the mind, there is also an everlasting soul, which is the principal entity that transmigrates among the hells, the human world, and the divine kingdom. Actually, such conceptions are the ignorant products of sentient beings, products of sentient beings' fantasy. Sentient beings in the world suffer from the cycle of birth and death in the 6 ways of rebirth, sufferings, causes, and effects, continuing endlessly, are nothing more than the aggregates, elements, and the sense organ. In his discourse on the conglomeration of suffering, the Buddha pointed out these two aspects. It is thoroughly miserable and it is real. Reality is suffering, and it cannot be changed into happiness. Unless thoroughly remedied, this situation is completely hopeless. Through understanding this, sentient beings can be liberated from confused religious thinking about a supposedly free and independent soul or true self. To practice the holy, world-transcending dharma, one has to understand this profoundly.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, the entity of the body and mind that constitutes sentient being is usually described in the sutra as, okay, the aggregates that have been obtained. Can you look for me number 9? What is the reference for number 9? It's about what?
SA.
SA.
SA 10.
Oh, SA. SA stands for Samyutta Agama, right? SA, Samyutta Agama is supposed to be.
And T2.
Yeah, SA is a Samyutta Agama. Let's take a look. Okay. These are all suffering of the sentient being. Okay, remember in the beginning we define suffering as the changing process. Okay, everything is changing, so there's a suffering. According to Lao Tzu, I have great trouble because I have a body. Have you ever heard about Lao Tzu, the founder of a Taoism? Okay, yes, maybe it seems Sally still look who is Lao Tzu. Usually it's shown in cartoon like that. I see how. So this is the Lao Tzu. I think Lao Tzu exists early before the Shakyamuni. All right. According to some of our high monks, they say the attainment of Lao Tzu can be reached to the immaterial sphere. The jhana is very high. Okay, so Lao Tzu is famous for what? For Tao. There's use only one word, Tao. Okay, it's very hard to understand how. And the more you read it, the more you get confused only. They call it. But also, when you talk about the Lao Tzu, you will see this. Okay, so this is the symptom for the Taoism. All right, so this is the symbol. Different people have a different interpretation for this logo. All right, but sorry, let me show you this first. This is the logo. See, this is so common in Taoism, and different people have a different interpretations. All right. Well, according to them, the attainment of Lao Tzu is quite high. And Lao Tzu realized that the only great trouble is I have the body. Okay, well, I think maybe the people like you and I, we will never think about that. By having a body is a trouble, right? I think we will be very enjoyed by having a body. But by having a body, then we can enjoy many things. Right? But the Lao Tzu, they themselves, they managed to think about that. Oh, the body itself is a trouble. Okay. Then let's take a look here. Besides the trouble by having a body, the mind also is defined as an everlasting soul or the self. Then this is the soul which transmigrates among the hell, the human and the world and the divine kingdom. You see, basically, in order to make people easily understand, we will say that there is something we call it soul. And the role of the soul is just like one is reincarnate, when you start reincarnation, all right, it's just like shifting. You try to, how should I put it out? There's a glass, we put some water inside, okay, and then we pour the water to another glass, all right. So the water is from glass A to the glass B. Then we pour the water from a glass B to the glass C, okay. Then meaning to say water is shifting from one glass to another. This is the concept for Buddhist, for some of the Buddhism, that we are reincarnating in this way. We shift we are changing our body, just like changing the cloth from one body to another body, from one body to another body. So do you agree? This is correct. How about Elena? Is this correct? But actually, it's not correct. It is not correct, usually we think, the way we think like this is very logic, easy one. Okay, so we need to say that the soul is migrating from from health to the goals, is among the six realm. But the proper one is the definition of the soul carries the significance that it is permanent. It is without changing. That's why we call it soul. By right, our soul, we don't call it soul. Should be in order to make it more accurate, we call it as consciousness. Consciousness is consciousness is the entity to reincarnating, and the consciousness carry the meaning that it is changing. Carry the meaning of changing. If you think about the soul, people will think that Sally died. Maybe a soul like a Sally try to shift from this realm to the maybe animals or somewhat, okay, and then die. And when the dog die, the soul of the dog try to shift to become a human again. People will think like this. But by right, once we die, all right, we don't have something like a soul to reincarnate. That's the consciousness, and the consciousness itself is still unchanging. Can you see the difference between the soul and the consciousness? You feel it's still the same thing, right?
Same thing, right?
Same thing only.
It's the same thing, right?
No.
Soul
if you tell,
and consciousness.
if you talk about soul, people will think that this is a permanent thing. Like Sally died, the soul just like a Sally, according to the movie, right? The Sally face.
The next body, lah.
Yeah, this is the soul reincarnate. But by right, it's not supposed to be like that. You don't have something. If you die, there's nothing called soul will appear. No. There must be consciousness appears. All right, and consciousness meaning to say that it's still unchanging actually, but soul is without any changing. You see the difference? Still not yet lah. Okay, never mind.
Cannot digest yet.
Cannot digest yet. You see? I see. Transmigrant. Okay. Actually, you see, such conception are the ignorance product. You see, this is our fantasies. Okay. Sentient being in the world suffer from the circle of birth and death in the sixth wave. Okay. So never mind. You can go back to see. You see, actually, this such a concept of the soul is not that correct. Maybe we can put it in this way. Okay, if let's say, if let's say, okay, now from the conventional truth, the feeling of the soul is very concrete for you and I. Okay, but for the sage, from the ultimate truth, from the ultimate convention. From the ultimate convention, the soul is not the soul. It should be the consciousness. Maybe we have two different ways to see the thing. But of course, you and I are receiving through the conventional truth, but without through the ultimate truth. So this is the way we see the thing. Okay, let's continue. Well, according to the Buddha, reality is suffering and it cannot be changed into happiness. So that is the truth. So lastly, we go to the truth of accumulations, the second reincarnations. Right. Okay, please, whose turn? Elena, right? Yes. Please read through it, yes.
Elena reads.
Yes.
Okay, the truth of accumulation. Suffering comes from the accumulation of karma. Accumulation of karma comes from fusion, which can be triggered or nurtured by affliction. Encountering the right conditions will bring about the fruit of accumulation refers to that which is. Why do the fruits of suffering in the world of continue to arise? Because of the accumulation of karma. Karma is good or evil conduct. Karma that is expressed. and the hidden force that is triggered by the good or evil karma that is not expressed. Due to the accumulation of karmic forces, the fruits of suffering accumulate. Why does the accumulation of karma occur? Because of confusion. Confusion is a common name for afflictions. Precisely because of these factors in sentient beings' mind, karma accumulate. It is important to understand that the afflictions are the primary karmic forces bring about the fruit of suffering. Afflictions have two types of karmic forces. First, the power of triggering. Whether karma is good or bad, so long as actions reach fruition in birth and death, they are all triggered by afflictions directly or indirectly. If the afflictions are eliminated, therefore no conduct can be bringing about birth and death. Second, the power of nurturing. When an action, karma, is performed, it becomes a karmic force. But this force must be further triggered by afflictions before it can produce sufferings as fruit. This can be compared to the sprouting of seeds. Without water, they will not sprout. If the afflictions are eliminated, all the karma seeds will wither and lose their power to produce. Otherwise, when causes encounter the right conditions, when karma seeds are nurtured by afflictions, they will produce the fruit of suffering. So the common saying, karma is the cause of reward and retribution, is clear. It's not clear enough. Rather than saying that karma is the cause of birth and death, we should say that the afflictions.
Okay, thank you so much. You don't want to cultivate. Okay, let's continue. Okay, karma is a good or evil conduct. Just now, Elena, have you finished reading out karma?
Yeah, she finished already. Right?
Okay. Oh, they managed to come in already.
Off page of
Hello, Mr. Leong.
Nice to see you, Mr. Leong. Yes.
Sorry, thank you. Okay, there is something wrong with the setting. She off. I don't know, accidentally off the roaming one. Okay, I'll follow now.
Yes. Please press the camera
Page
button.
124. Page 124.
Oh, okay.
Camera button. Camera.
Are you already on camera button?
Wait. Camera button.
Just now you're on already. Now you off it.
Okay.
Yes, we see you now. Okay.
Huh? All right.
Yeah, we all see you. Okay. Elena,
Thank you.
You are so missing him, huh?
Mrs. Liang.
Hello.
What page is it?
124.
124.
124.
Okay.
Mr. Leong, we are in the verses number 71. Okay, the truth of accumulation. Are you in? Do you get it?
Okay.
Okay, all right, okay. So
Okay, let me settle
71,
down.
Suffering is come from accumulation of the karma, and the accumulation comes
Yes.
from confusions.
What?
Okay. Accumulation refers to which arises due to the cause and condition, and why
Yes.
do the feeling of suffering in the world of sentient being continue to arise is due to accumulation of the karma. Okay, well, class, this is something which is quite difficult to explain and understand. You see, now, okay, once we see something, okay, we start to crave over it, okay, or maybe we feel angry, all right. So we will ask, what is the cause of? There is a craving, anger, and the delusions, all right. So Buddha will say that, it's always because due to the karma. And then if we further ask, why does the karma arise? Then it will answer confusion. Okay, I don't know whether confusion make you more confused or not. In Chinese, we call it wuming or avijja. Avijja. I think maybe avijja is the better word compared with the English confusions. Sometimes they translate it as ignorance. Okay, class, you please copy down these words. Okay, like Wu Ming, yes, please, for the confusion, you please write the Pali terms avijja, okay, and you put ignorant. Generally, it has been translated to ignorant. I think maybe ignorant is better than confusion. Ignorant, ignorance, ignorance. Okay, how do we further understand avijja? Okay, once we talk about avijja, if we minus the vr, meaning to say there's the vijja. So, okay, if let's say we how to say we minus the how to say if let's say we remove the ignorant, we will become wisdom. Okay, we become wisdom. But the wisdom in the Buddhism is different with the wisdom what we say. Okay, if let's say maybe okay you go to do investment, all right, you can analyze. You are very analytic. Okay, you can see, you can judge the thing very well. Maybe we will say that, oh, you are very wisdom. But this is not the wisdom in Buddhism. The wisdom in Buddhism meaning to say that you are able to see the truth of the thing. And we don't see through our naked eye, but through our third eye. From your mind. Nowadays, we are living in the world of the conventional truth. Okay, I see Sally, I see Elena, and for me, I see Mr. Leong and I see Mrs. Leong, but they are an entity. This entity actually is a conventional truth. This is not the ultimate truth. Okay, so we are all in the avijja. Okay, but if let's say, okay, like what Sally experienced, you meditate very well. Okay, the nimitta appeared. Okay. Well, the nimitta arise. The nimitta arise is due to the samadhi. We call it the light of the samadhi. But you let's say you are using the power of samadhi to observe the five aggregates, it will become the light of the wisdom. All right. So from here, the light of the wisdom, we will see that Sally as an entity, it doesn't exist. Okay, there's nobody called Sally. What we see, Sally is just only formed by a group of the materiality. That's all, and also some mentality. All right, some consciousness. All right. Once we are able to see this, get this truth, we call it. This is the Vijja. The only beings attain the Vijja is Arahant only. Arahant. So meaning to say that Arahant see things are different from we see the things. Okay, from Arahant they will see everything, especially this entity of the body. They will see is keep on changing and changing, and he doesn't. Since it is keep on changing and changing, there won't arise any craving or anger, because it's not necessary to be craving or angry to something which is keep on changing. Okay, you know what I mean? Okay, yeah. For example, okay, this is a picture which looks so beautiful, right? Okay, for example, for this, okay, let's see first. Let's take a look. So this is the image we see so beautiful. Okay, we call it as a conventional truth. We are in the Vijja to see the thing. We are in the Avijja to see the thing. But if let's say we try to magnify it, let's take a look. We magnify it. We magnify it. We magnify it some more. Does it look beautiful, Elena? Why it is not beautiful as previous picture?
You can see dry leaf. The leaves doesn't look as good as.
Too near is no good.
Okay, so meaning to say that if the things, I mean, we see a certain distance, it will be look good, right? Okay, but if we go to magnify to a certain extent, it turns ugly already. Well, this is a good analogy to describe Vijja and Avijja. Once we are in the Avijja, we will see things all beautiful, right? But this is not the truth actually. But for Arahant, who is in the Vijja, they manage to see, they manage to magnify the thing and see the thing in the truth way. And finally, it ends up that all the thing is not beautiful. Once we see everything in a microscopic manner. So this is the reason why, if let's say, okay, Sally, if let's say just now the picture, you were very attached to it. But once I magnify it, do you attach it anymore? No, because it looks ugly already, right? This ugly is the truth, but this is not pessimistic. This is the truth ugly, and you no more like it. Okay, so there's a reason why. If let's say, like Mr. Leong or Mrs. Leong, you marry, since you marry because you are in the conventional truth, you see each other in a very beautiful. But if let's say you do the samadhi and you magnify both each other, I don't think you will marry because it looks so ugly actually. It looks ugly. So that's the reason why once the audience come out as a very young people, we will tell them, don't over see things in this way, because they have to maintain the marriage. They must see the beauty of each other. And we need attachment, the attachment in order to give birth of the baby. But if let's say you always see things like that, they don't have any intention to give birth to of the baby anymore. You get what I mean? So this is we so-called avijja. once we are all in avijja, so this the karma will keep on arising, and the craving, the anger, all will keep on arise. But sadly, so that's why that's why I encourage you that if after the attainment of your samadhi, you must learn the skill to magnify the thing. That is the vipassana actually. But they got some steps, and the samadhi must be strong enough so that you can see the thing, you can magnify and freeze the thing and see the truth. Then finally, you will attain the nibbana. Okay, the way I see, even though some of our Mahayana, they aim for the Pure Land, maybe Eastern Pure Land or Western Pure Land. But I believe once they reach the Pure Land, they will do all this vipassana. They will end up just stay and do nothing. Okay, so that's we so-called the vicca and avicca. Let's take a look. This is the hidden force. You see, karma is a hidden force. Okay, and karma arises due to the confusions, and precisely because of this factor in sentient being mind, karma accumulates. So we keep on accumulates the karma. Then okay. So next paragraph, Mr. Leong, it is important. Please write it up. Okay. On the mic to you. Yes.
Karma. Karma is good or evil conduct. Karma.
No. Mr. Leong, we are in this paragraph. It is important. Do you see it? You try to see your handphone.
It is important to understand. It is important to understand that the afflictions are the fruit directly. If the afflictions are eliminated, therefore, no conduct can become the karmic force bringing about birth and death. Second, the power of nurturing. When an action or karma is performed, it becomes a karmic force, but this force must be further triggered by afflictions before it can produce suffering as its fruit. This can be compared to the sprouting of seeds. Without water, they will not sprout. If the afflictions are eliminated, all the karma seeds will wither and lose their power to produce food. Otherwise, when causes continue the right conditions, when karma seeds are nurtured by afflictions, they will produce the fruit of suffering. So, the common saying that
The line is so bad, sadly, right?
seeds of or perfuming. No karma will be lost in hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Sentient beings experiencing birth and death in accordance with their karma.
Mr. Leong cannot hear you.
Cannot hear all.
Yeah. Yes, the sound disappeared already. Okay, never mind. Okay, we just continue. Okay, so it's not.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Leong, your Wi-Fi is quite weak. Okay, so sometimes we lost. Okay, we can't hear you properly. Okay. So we try to finish this paragraph first. Yes, Mrs. Leong, can you follow? Thumb up if you can follow. Thumb up. Yes, good. Okay, thank you so much. So let's take a look. Okay, now we go to the second paragraph. Okay, once we talk about the affliction, they got two power. Okay, well, I think this is good. We use the analogy. Okay, this is the analogy we use to uh, uh, um, this is the analogy we use for the description. Okay, so okay, if let's say we create a karma, okay, it's just like we plant a seed. The seed have the power for sprouting with the conditioning of water and the soil. There must be the water and the soil. Usually, the soil we use it as we call it avidya, we call it, or maybe the affliction. All right, we need the affliction, we need the avidya. So by having the avidya, okay, and with the nurturing of the water, and the seeds will be able to grow up. Okay, so this is the analogy we use to describe why there is the karma will be created by us. Okay, so for example, okay, just now the picture. Okay, Sally liked the picture so much. Okay, once you like the picture so much, there is a karma created, and the karma become a seed, and it has been planted in your heart. Okay, we call it, we plant it is plant in your heart or plant in your bawanga. Okay, so in another day, one day, okay, once you see the picture again, all right, the feeling of a craving will be more stronger. So maybe Sally think that you want to steal the picture, all right, then you go to steal the picture. Meaning to say that this seed, okay, start sprouting. Okay, you go to steal it, and you enhance it some more. Okay, and the karma will be very, very strong. But once the karma getting strong, the karma, there goes two effect. First, maybe this life, okay, the karma will manifest. Second, the karma will determine your next destination. There's the two possibility. Okay, so that's we call it. Okay, in order to make the karma stronger, you need another object. You have to seal it again. All right, and you have a strong defilement to aggravate it. Okay, how you have the defilement becomes stronger some more, and the defilement is due to what? As we said that you got a defilement some more to make it more stronger. Okay, so defilement is another power to push it become greater and greater. Okay, so this is what we try to describe this paragraph. So let's take a look. See. So we got two power. Affliction have two power. One is the triggering. Second is the nurturing. It trigger you to create the karma. Second, it will nurture it further. See, all right. Okay, so that is the analogy we use to describe it. Now we go to the paragraph number 72. All right. So Sally, please. Karma.
Karma, sorry. Karma means action. It's threefold. Its threefold nature can be explained in two different ways. First, when classified according to the basis upon which karma is manifested, karma is either physical, verbal, or mental. Physical actions may be either evil or such as killing and stealing, or good, which is not such as not killing and not stealing. These actions, which are by nature ethical or unethical, are called express physical karma. These physical actions trigger latent energy which also has its effect. This energy is called unexpressed physical karma. Although the expression of this karma is visible, transformation of matter into energy has function of bringing about rewards or retributions. In the same way, the expression through speech or through writing, which can be described as a transformation of verbal karma into physical karma, of lies, backbiting, etc., all of which is evil, and of honest words and harmonious Hock, which is good, is called express verbal karma. Through these verbal expressions arises the latent energy called unexpressed verbal karma. Physical and verbal karma, which are physiological activities, and the potential energy they trigger are categorized as belonging to matter.
Okay, thank you so much. We try to digest, but this is getting more simple and simple once we go through this, because we are quite familiar with all this. Mr. Leong, please thumb up if you follow. Okay, thank you so much. Let's take a look. Okay, once we go to this paragraph, okay, so now first, well, this is a simple paragraph because it's mentioned about physical, verbal, and the mental, all right? There could be evil or the good one, huh? It can be evil or good, could be ethical or unethical, huh? If let's say you do something like you killing, this is the so-called express physical karma, okay, huh? Well, the physical karma will trigger the latent energy. Latent energy means the unexpressed physical karma, huh? And it will carry some rewards and retribution. Okay, for example, just now, let's say Sally prefer the pictures very much, okay, and Sally go to steal it. So we call it as express, okay, express physical karma, all right. But okay, once you steal it, okay, maybe you try to steal, but finally you can't make it, all right, you can't make it. The energy will become the latent karma. It will be latent in your heart, okay. It take opportunity to sprouting. So for example, okay, if let's say okay, the craving, you don't go to counter react it, you don't go to tackle it, okay, you just let it be. So maybe once you have an opportunity to see another picture and it will start to sprouting anymore. So that is the reason why the latent karma also works, even though it is latent, you see. Okay, now next we go to see, and also there's a verbal, it's the same, in the verbal karma there's the evil and the good, all right. If let's say you're specting out that that we call that as an express verbal karma. But if you don't really, but after the after the express verbal karma, it will become unexpressed verbal karma. Okay. Now, but anyway, no matter physical or verbal karma, we categorize under to the matter. All right. Now, Elena, likewise, please. Okay.
Likewise, mental karma is categorized as belonging to the phenomena of the mind created. people say that mental actions are the essence of because they are the cause from which the physical and verbal expression arise. They assert that such thoughts, which cause physical and verbal actions, are physical and verbal karma. This type of explanation tends towards the mere mind. However, the Buddha said that good and evil, physical and verbal karma have forms that are visible to the divine eye. Therefore, to say that unexpressed karma is the specific energy that is triggered by matter is more accurate. Second, karma is threefold because it is neither good, bad, or neutral. Leaving aside good and evil karma, one might ask what neutral karma is. It is the karma associated with meditation. The karma associated with meditation of the realms, forms, and formless is, of course, good. But there is a special characteristic of meditation that is designated neither moving or chaotic. And the corresponding karma is called neutral karma. This neutral karma can bring about birth and death in the world. Whereas the so-called good and evil karma specifically describe the karmic causes birth and death in the realm of desire. According to the Buddha Dharma, both expressed and unexpressed karma, both physical and verbal actions and the energy triggered by them are impermanent and pass away instantly. If karma is extinguished instantly and passes away, how can it bring about future effects? To answer this question, the sutras use the analogy of seed. For example, the plant that flowers and bears fruit may wither, but its seeds can germinate, sprout, produce new branches. Another analogy is that of perfuming. A box in which special incense has been stored still retains the fragrance even after the incense has been. Later scholars work out the theories of seed and perfuming to illustrate the possibility of karmic forces bringing about effect. These are, however, merely pure analogy.
Okay, thank you so much. I will digest 3 paragraphs first.
Okay, to bring it up, can I see?
Yes. Yeah, sure. Finish, Mr. Leong? Okay, thank you. Now we go to the another part, all right. Okay, so just now the karma, we understand that there is the physical and also the verbal karma. Now we go to the mental karma, all right. Some says that, okay, the mental actions are the essence of the karma because they are the source for the physical and the verbal. Once you say so, you have a tendencies to the mere mind theory. Anybody agrees that mere mind theory is ultimate?
Repeat.
Shall I know who is agree with the mere mind theory? Meaning to say that mind is the ultimate, mind are the ultimate sources for all the karma. The mind. Do you agree? Agree. Okay, Sally agree. Elena agree? Don't know how. Mr. Leong agree? Disagree. Okay, very good. So let's Sally fight over with the Mr. Leong. So Mr. Leong, you buy who win? Okay. Okay, never mind. We try. Okay, Mr. Leong, please try to explain a little bit. Okay, your disagreement, please. Okay.
Actually, the I needs a consciousness and a contact. But then the thing is, it is the mind that actually perceive whether it's a true or fake. So it doesn't go through the mind. The I is not the ultimate. But whatever it is, the mind will what you call perceive and what you call analyze the truth or not the truth.
Now the question is, if we said that the mind is the ultimate source, are you agree? Mind, not the I.
Yes, the mind will be the ultimate source, not the I.
And so Sally, you no need to fight with him lah. I think maybe the side effect not good lah. He misunderstood. Yes, the mind still should be the source. The reason is if without the action of the mind, we got physical and verbal, right? No physical and verbal if without the mind. Okay, so the mind is the major, the ultimate source. All right. Okay, we go here. We said second, karma is a threefold: good, bad, or the neutral. All right. Okay, why there's the good, bad, and neutral? All right. Once we talk about the neutral karma is associated with meditation, it refers to the form and formlessness. Okay, forms and formlessness. Okay, we call it a rupa and arupa meditation. Okay, and sometimes we use the special name with either neither moving nor chaotic. So this is we try to express it. Okay, neutral karma can bring about birth and death in the realms of form and formlessness. Okay, so this is the second categorization. Also threefold. All right. Now we talk about that. If let's say the karma pass away, okay, okay, if let's say that the karma itself is impermanent and pass away instantly, so how does the karma bring the effect? So we use two analogy. One is the seed analogy. Let's take a look. This is the seed analogy. All right. Second, we are used is the perfume analogy. Okay. Second is the perfume analogy. Okay. All right, a perfume analogy. Okay, usually seed analogy is understandable. The reason is once there's a seed, okay, uh, uh, by providing air, water, fertilizer, the seed will start sprouting. All right, 20% discount. Oh my God. Okay. Now I talk about the perfume, all right. Even though after finishing the perfume, the bottle still got the smell there, no matter how hard you wash it. Am I right, Mrs. Leong? You use perfume mostly among three of you. Am I right? I think Mrs. Leong use perfume mostly. All right, okay. Even though this
Never.
oh, never. She never used perfume. Oh, sorry, wrong guess. Okay. So meaning to say that once you use up the whole perfume, the bottle, no matter how hard you wash it, you still can smell it. So both are analogies to describe, even though after the karma passed away, why the effect is still there. Okay, class, take a look. If you mention so, we may feel terrible that, wow, the karma is so bad. Then how? Okay, no need to worry. There's a karma, there's a good karma, and there's a bad karma. Okay, as long as we do more good karma, okay, we are using the salt analogy. All right. Once we create even though we create some bad karma, okay, but if let's say you do a lot of good karma, you just like put the salt into a bath tube, okay, with a bath tube full of the water, and then the taste of the water we're getting less salty, with plenty of the water. Okay, so meaning to say that even though we create the karma, but a lot by creating a lot of good karma at the same time, it will counteract the effect of the bad karma. Okay, once we start to do the meditation, all right, and we are able to from the avijja to the vijja, finally all the seeds, as if you put the seeds on the cement, they don't have the opportunity for sprouting. Okay. All right. I think I stopped the class here. All right. Maybe I let Elena and also Sally to recap what Mr. Leong and Mrs. Leong missed out. Okay. Then have a rest. Okay. You can have a tidbits. Okay, as usual. Then 4:30 we start our meditation class. Okay, please. Okay. Well, I think I leave the WebEx to three of you. Okay. So please start the recapitulations. Elena, please lead the class, please. Okay. We transfer merit after the meditation. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hi.
What do you do? You delete it and then put it again.
I went into the setting, then go to WebEx, and then the thing was actually off on the off position. So the thing is cannot get connected.
Oh.
Oh, now only I know. Now the wisdom come lah.
Under the right condition.
Okay. Cause and condition. Causes it.
Okay.
Now
Today we started with
the
the
six elements.
That's the elements, right?
Six elements.
Elements.
1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Then we go to 1,
Alright.
2, 3.
1, 2.
1, 2,
At the
3.
bottom.
We go to 1, 2, 3.
Highlight
the 6 great elements.
Okay, 6 element, correct. Okay.
We go down to the 5th line.
Element.
Earth, water, fire, wind, space, and consciousness.
Where?
You go down to line number 2, 4, 5.
5.
4, 5.
Yeah, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Earth, water, fire. Got it?
Okay, the 5 elements, okay.
Go down another 2 lines, just the word matter. Characteristic of. Then go down another 1, 2. Fluidity of blood, of the blood sweat. down next line. Warm and heat.
Warm.
Next line. Motility of breathing and movement. This recap is good, right? Okay, we go down another line. Physiological functions. Go down one to third line. Another 3 line. Consciousness element.
Okay.
Refers to the 6th consciousness that differentiates objects and become attached.
Continue.
Next paragraph. Next paragraph, second line. The aggregates that have been obtained. Go down another 2 line. Accumulated sufferings. Go down another 2 lines. The last word. I have great trouble because I have a body. Okay.
Okay.
Go down one more line. The last 2 words. An everlasting soul or self. Go right to the last word of the same line. Transmigrates among the hells, the heaven world, the human world, and the divine kingdom.
Okay.
Next line. Ignorant product.
Okay.
Go down 2 lines. Sufferings, causes, and effects. All the way to the last full stop. All the way to full stop. Next paragraph, third line. Reality is suffering and it cannot be changed into happiness.
Okay.
Is that okay or not?
Okay. Okay.
Both also okay.
Oh, very good. Next page.
Not KO.
Okay, next page. Under the word accumulation there, accumulation causes and conditions.
Yes.
Then 2 lines down, accumulation of karma. Okay. Then karma, the first line, the last word, hidden force.
Where?
Huh?
Karma.
Ah.
Wait, hidden force.
Under karma. Where am I now?
Hidden force.
Oh, hidden force.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Adi.
Karma occur, the occur.
Yes, the one already done. I'm following that already.
Oh, you are there
Can-
already.
can-
Okay. Done. Then done lah.
Okay lah, rest lah, makan snack lah, makan, minum. Thank
I
you.
Go and eat. I don't know why I'm hungry.
Because you are very anxious, that's why you feel hungry. Take chocolate.
Today we dabao, we take away, we didn't cook. So, since I eat something and then class want to start already, you see. Okay,
Yeah.
see ya.
Can't believe
Oh,
it.
God.
Yet.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
To restart every time restarting.